Hello and welcome to Before the Green. My name is Evan Locke. I'm one of your hosts. Donnie and Korey will be joining me here shortly. Looking forward to this episode for quite some time. Feels like the longest 2 days of my life, but been really excited to talk about Alex Bowman snapping his winless streak at Chicago Street Course. I'm going to talk about some other drama that unfolded with Alex, with Bubba Wallace as well. So some extra drama there for us. Going to talk silly season. Got some big news with Haley Deegan and Rodney Childers. Some unexpected news in that regard. And then, of course, we're going to talk picks this week. The guy that we really thought was not going to be the guy to get the point was the guy that got the point. So got some interesting stuff coming up. Make sure you stick around and check it out.
Well, listeners, do I have a deal for you? As you can look and see behind Evan, there is a brand new, never used exercise bike. I mean, I'm sure it's hung some dirty laundry on it or clean laundry. I don't know, but guarantee you it's never been sat or pedaled.
It's actually not true. There was a point in my life where I used to bike for 5 minutes every morning.
And you were 4 years old then?
Is this when you and Mary Lee used to go do figure eights around the yard?
Yeah, we did it on stationary bikes.
Look, Mom, we're having a circus.
You have to use your imagination, Mom. Actually, no, I have used that bike a fair amount.
I do have a video of him pedaling on it.
I will say,
and
it's
sweating
the first exercise bike I've ever seen with flat tires.
No, I will say, as much as like I wouldn't say relative to the average person I've used it a lot. I would say relative to what you assume I've used it a lot. Yeah, I've been relocated. Korey is actually sitting in my usual recording space, and I know you're thinking it doesn't look like it, but we are in the process of actually building somewhat of a studio space there. So I am in my mess. Korey's air mattress is right behind me. It's actually just sitting on top of my bed.
With my suitcase on top of that.
Yeah, so his clothes are on top of his bed, which is on top of the clothes that are on top of my bed. So it's
it's basically bunk beds.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah. It's actually like the worst version of that Inception movie that ever existed. Is it a bed, clothes, or something else?
All right, lovebirds, let's move her along here.
All right. Well, that works for me.
No, I think that's all there is to talk about tonight.
Yeah. All right.
I have not. I don't even remember a race. I'm trying to block it out of my memory. So
I was happy with the race. I don't know why you guys are so disappointed.
I've never seen a fat grown man cry, laugh.
Just going to add in fat. No, grown man doesn't cover it. He was fat too.
Like he was dancing around. So I mean, like you gotta context there. So.
I started cleaning up the living room with about 20 minutes to go on that stupid clock. Stress cleaning is what I was doing.
He was so worked up, he just had to like move around.
It was like when Tyson was here that week and he was just pacing. Like that's who I was. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm way more excited for tonight than
Speaking of silliness, let's talk about silly season news. Brought to you by Pepsi. As things continue to change fairly rapidly from week to week, the two big news stories this week are that Haley Deegan has ended her full-time rookie season with AM Racing prematurely, citing a difference in vision for the team, and the biggest story of the week being that Rodney
her vision being what, 36th place?
Yeah.
Sorry. You see, my vision is that we would finish dead last majority of the races, and my employer thought different. So
he had weird expectations.
There was another story that Rodney Childers has signed a deal to become Korey LaJoie's crew chief at Spire beginning in 2025. Let's talk about these two topics for a moment. What are your thoughts on each? We just heard Donnie's, so Evan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Joey jumped into that AM racing car this week and did a really good job. Obviously, that's kind of what you expect of a Cup Series champion too, right? To be able to jump into equipment and maybe even perform a little better, but probably not 25 spots better. So Yeah, I doubt her career has come to an end in NASCAR. I think she's just got too much of a following and too much fan base.
Too much money.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that that's the reality. Like, I think
Yeah.
she will probably find a landing spot. Probably somewhere where maybe 30th to 35th is kind of what they expect. Like the Rick Ware Racing of previous years, like a caliber team of that. What I do think is kind of surprising to me is Rodney Childers going over to Spire. And perhaps even more importantly is that he's teaming up with Corey LaJoie. I actually really thought if he ends up at Spire that a guy like Michael McDowell would probably be the guy that he would get lined up with. And the reason I say that is Michael McDowell has run better equipment than Spire, and Rodney Childers has worked on better equipment than Spire. And so I kind of felt like put those two guys together and you would probably have the best idea of what your stuff is actually like. But I think it's great for Corey.
Well,
do I want to know why?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The reason he's going to Corey is because after next season, Corey's not going to have an excuse if he doesn't perform.
Well,
so they're looking at it. Best case scenario, Corey figures it out with Rodney and they do well. Worst case, Corey, we did everything we could for you.
Exactly.
You're garbage. You're out of here. Oh, look at that. Connor Zillage has come of age. Welcome to the team, kid. And then you have one of the youngest talents that, everyone's looking forward to seeing in Cup. He's probably going to do a year of Xfinity next season. So, and you got one of the best crew chiefs. Put those two together. I mean, your program's only going to get better with McDowell being there, giving his feedback into the car. Right. I think this is a long game of, hey, we did everything we could. We give you every chance. You messed up, and we don't want to waste Rodney on, not waste him on McDowell, but McDowell's coming into the twilight years of his career.
Oh, definitely.
Have a guy like Rodney with Stillage. Can you imagine the development that kid would have with him?
Yeah, that's be really good.
And I mean, this is pulling out of my Christian friendly words, rear end here, but
it's not the worst thing you've pulled out of your Christian friendly words, rear end. But yeah,
it makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense. And for that matter, I hope Corey finds success. You know what I mean? But I will.
Have you seen him drive lately?
I know, but but I tell you, man,
go stack pennies for all I care.
Yeah,
I tell you what, when you're desperate, man, it really makes you look worse. It always does. So
well, can't be that desperate because he's always going the wrong direction. He's been sideways every race the last month.
Corey is super compassionate today.
No, I've had to work with you all day, so my patience is wearing.
You didn't have to work with me all day. A lot of time you
That's
worked
right.
while I didn't.
You were on break quite a bit. So.
I was the idiot who didn't wear shoes, and my feet are killing me. But I mean, it's your own
shoes.
Home.
Is that all you're not wearing right now? Shoes?
Not right now.
Mr. Oh, Corey, you mind grabbing that? I don't have pants on, so I can't stand up. Oh, you thought that wasn't going to get brought up on the podcast tonight?
No.
To be clear, I do have clothing on my bottoms. It's just not pants. Well, no,
my bottoms
made it sound like I had nothing on but a shirt, and that just ain't
just
true.
Free burning.
All right,
we gotta go. Gone with the wind.
Changing the subject.
Thank the Lord. You won't like this subject better than I
think we're gonna skip this one. Let's talk about the rain instead.
No, let's talk about this one.
All right, so Shane Van Gisbergen showed his dominance early by winning stage 1. I was excited. Everyone was excited. I thought I had 2 points. However, was taken out
on Saturday.
For that and the race, yeah. Was taken out by a spinning Chase Briscoe early in the second stage. Although Briscoe barely touched SVG, it was enough to put him into the wall hard, damaging the car beyond the repair limitations of the damaged vehicle policy. The broadcast predicted him as the favorite. He proved he was likely to be the favorite, and I had him picked as my favorite. Is SVG ready to go Cup racing with the amount of road and street courses that we have? I will say Chase Briscoe's looking more like a Toyota driver every day, so Good for him.
Wow, just like threw that in at you, Donnie.
Right? Like,
Wow.
Oh man. I mean, I don't think he's ready to go cup racing, but
ow. The guy's already won in Cup. Like,
yeah,
there's
but I mean,
how many guys that haven't won in Cup?
I know, but for like,
If Harrison Burton
he
has
still
arrived
needs
for 3
practice
years in
on
Cup,
ovals. Like ovals is not. He's garbage in those right now.
he's finishing 15th, like on average at ovals. Like,
I
he's
think
not garbage. Like, he's
not
gonna figure it out.
But he still needs to figure it out. I think, like before he gets.
He's running better than Jimmy Johnson, who's a 7-time champ in our series.
Oof.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
To be fair,
no,
we've seen the equipment Jimmy's team is bringing. So,
but I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, SVG was driving that 15 car. Like,
so who's he got? Is it Trackhouse who has them, or is it?
yeah.
So,
which is
But
better.
they've been
than
working
what he was
deals
in
with
yesterday.
everybody.
yeah.
Yes, Spire. Like,
Yeah.
it's all gonna.
Who?
But
who
no,
would-
he's ready.
Where would he
Like,
go though? Like,
Well,
Well,
Trackhouse. But
I
like,
think
here's the
Trackhouse
thing:
is
he's
gonna try
ready
to buy
because he's not 20 years old.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a 7-time champ in his own series. He's moved his family from Australia to here. Like, yeah, put him in a car. It's entertaining. It's fun. He is incredible on the road courses, and I'd like to see him figure out, you know, the ovals as we go. Like, no one's expecting, like, you know, he doesn't have to run for championships, but like, this is one of the best drivers in auto racing. Like, heck yeah, throw him in one of our cars and let him race. Like, he's proven he can get it done. I mean, he looked incredible Sunday. Like, he looked like he's going to do it again. He looked unbeatable Saturday, racing against Kyle Larson, who I think all three of us can agree is probably the best in our sport right now. I mean, Kyle said himself he's learning off of him.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like-
yeah, 100%. He was more than happy to run second all day Saturday behind him, just watching.
Right.
Well, I mean, imagine the
So,
stuff
like-
you could learn, right? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
especially someone who knows what he's looking at, like Kyle Larson, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of guys out there that don't have the foundational, you know, knowledge to probably learn as much as that. But like, Larson would just be a sponge, man. It'd be unbelievable. I will say this, as far as SVG and Cup Series, I realize we don't have the 2025 schedule yet. But if you look at 2024, there's a very real chance that he would end up in the round of 8 because first round, you've got Watkins Glen. Second round, you've got the Roval. And I mean, to be really honest, he's been running top 15 at most of the ovals in the Xfinity Series anyway.
Is he?
So I don't see any reason why, you know, if you're sitting here, assuming he's got to win at this point, which I think he probably would in good equipment at all. So I think if we were sitting here at this point after the cutoff race doing our playoff preview, I think most of us would probably be looking at this situation saying, I think you've got to have him in your final 8. You know, I don't think there's something there that would give me much hope after that. You know, Vegas, Miami, and Martinsville are very much your typical ovals, but like a round of 8 berth, it would be exceptionally phenomenal for a guy with his level of experience on ovals. And I think with the 2024 schedule the way it is, rumors are it's changing, of course, but I think with the 2024 schedule the way it is, I would be very prone to say I think he's got a really good shot at a great finish in the standings.
Yeah.
And that's where the money
guy's
is.
just class act. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's, you know, some jerk. Like,
No, he's a
again,
super
trying to
cool
get
guy.
Yeah. Like,
And he's
so,
building a fan
yeah,
base
I'm-
here. Like even yesterday when he took the lead there, like the crowd was going nuts. But
Like, I know you had him picked, and I mean, I was gutted when he crashed. Like, I wanted to see him, you know. The guys,
it took like not just because I had a pick, but like it took the wind out of the sails of that race, in my opinion. Not like
well, I mean, Kyle Larson had no one to look off of, and look what happened. He
we're
drives
not talking
into
about Kyle Larson because
set
I
of
don't know what
tires.
he was doing yesterday. So
What do you mean SVG's
grief.
not here?
yeah, really.
Well, actually, I will say this. I don't necessarily know that it would have had as negative of an impact if we didn't go to a rain delay right after. Like, I think like that time added to it really just hurt. Which is too bad because I thought the racing was pretty good. I thought we had quite a bit of strategy up until that point. Like, you're gonna run slicks, you're gonna run wets. What are you gonna do? I was really looking. Actually, I still enjoyed the race, obviously, but it's easy to do when your guy wins. But yeah,
friggin' NASCAR. Like, oh, you know what? Let's change the rules of racing completely. We're going to make this completely new, do something we've never done before, because we have to do something so that fourth guy at Hendrick can get a win.
Oh, come on.
Just pathetic.
That's not in the
Like,
outline.
No, that's just hard truth. NASCAR
All right,
sat down and
well-
said, look, there's no way this kid does it on his own. Let's just
I guess we
figure it
got to
out.
talk about him because Evan has paragraphs of Bowman stuff here. So,
Well, there's
feels like-
context that's important here.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have pictures of him?
Yeah. Like,
Bro, you totally photoshopped yourself in there. You've never
Am I
even met
sharing
the
my
guy.
screen? Oh my
why are
goodness.
you
This is
why are
creepy.
you naked in a bathroom with him? Like what?
That's why I don't have my pants.
Is that bourbon on the counter?
Bro, your
on.
mom's not gonna be proud of you anymore.
My mom isn't,
Oh, okay.
typically speaking.
All right. So the rain allowed us to see multiple strategies play out, and as stage 2 is drawing to a close, many of the field pitted for slick tires as the stage was, well, you put drawing to a close twice, so I guess you're really trying to beat that.
Listen, it was late.
All right. So a few teams opted to remain on wets, including Alex Bowman. As the clock counted down to the end, it appeared that Christopher Bell was going to catch him, but he was taken out of contention after being involved in an accident with the 47, 19, and the number 6 cars. Tyler Reddick would then take up the charge for the drivers with slicks and be within 2 seconds as the white flag came out. Reddick would make an error and clip an inside wall, allowing Bowman to drive off on the wet tires. With Bowman punching his ticket, how's he looking with the playoffs drawing close? First round exit.
Yeah.
What do you think, Donnie?
So
Well, I think the guy came into the race battling for the last playoff spot, drives into the guy that he's battling with and ruins
we
his
talk
day.
about that the next
That's the
paragraph.
next topic,
All right,
Donnie.
I'm just getting.
We're talking about how he's looking for the playoffs right now.
All right, well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say great. His best playoff finish ever, 6th, and the guy's a 14th average driver in top tier equipment, 19th over his career. Like, yeah,
I'm just gonna see.
I'm not that high on the guy.
I'm just gonna watch the fireworks.
I mean, you literally had a race handed to you from NASCAR, who made the rules up as they went
Oh my
and
goodness.
threw yellow after yellow to help you out.
When
like-
did they throw yellow after yellow?
That's all it was at the end.
The amount of cars that sat there for 20 or 30 seconds waiting for them to refire it and they let it go. They had one yellow in the end, and I forget
Yeah, there
who it was for. I
there
actually thought
wasn't
there was
many
gonna-
yellows because Evan was praying for one because he didn't think his driver had the skill to actually finish it out.
No, I didn't think they had the tire. I didn't realize that every Toyota driver was also going to be rooting for Alex enough that they were going to just fundamentally fall apart. But I should have known generational talent Reddick would screw himself out of what I think was probably a guaranteed race win because Alex did not have the speed to hold him off.
All right,
But
here's what I want to say on that. I just want to say,
okay, but we're coming back to the
You-
playoff talk. here in a
yeah,
second.
we are. You guys might be right, and
I
that's something I'm keeping an eye on. Is like, I mean, he had
the win.
he had
there.
that race.
Oh,
And
100%.
It wasn't. He had lots of road.
Yeah.
Like he really just overdrove it for no reason. And so
Now-
the fact that this is like the second time where like I haven't really paid attention too much because he's not, my number 1, number 2 guy. But like when he wins, he's out front and he's winning.
Yeah.
But when it matters and he's got to catch up, that's going to be interesting to see because that's the thing. Like I don't think you win championships if you can't get it done in that.
Right.
So I'm
And-
not ready to be like, oh, the guy, yeah, he's a choke. But you guys obviously have some ammo to work with. And
I
be
said
keeping
it
an eye
after
on that.
Darlington, man, and I
Yeah.
and I meant it. Like I wasn't kidding. He's got to
And-
clean that stuff
Yeah.
up.
In his defense, so I guess the track beyond that point was pretty wet still. So maybe he did have to push harder than we thought, but I mean, still, he did. Yeah, I mean,
Sure, but you got to get to that point. before it
exactly.
matters.
Like it was.
Like-
he definitely messed up there, but
Like
Yeah.
I had
I
the
mean,
shortest
it
stream
was
of
the
my
last
life on
lap, too.
iRacing because
Yeah,
I
it
wrecked
was.
myself, and I didn't look as bad as he did. No, I'm just kidding.
but yeah. All right. So
So let me
Oh,
say this: as far as Alex in the playoffs, okay.
the championship.
I think if it's starting today, it's
They're
not.
building something.
No, hang on. I think if it starts today, I really don't think there's a whole lot overly positive, right?
If it's today, he'll get a DUI probably.
Yeah.
Probably for the rest of the week, if we're being really
Right.
honest. But if you look at our upcoming schedule between now and the playoffs, we've got 2 tracks he's won at before, Pocono and Richmond. He finished second at Daytona in February, which obviously Daytona's a crapshoot. You can't just assume it's going to be, similar. So there's a real chance for them to gain some playoff points and better their seed for the playoffs. I think that's really good. And if that happens and you've got a guy like that who has top tier equipment and a lot of confidence going into the playoffs, I think that's a really good combination for a deep push. I said at the beginning of the year, I don't think he's Final Four this season, and I stand by that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to put something together to get to the same point, like, 6th place finish or that round of 8. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. My big concern is, you go into the playoffs, he doesn't run overly great at Watkins Glen, and Atlanta's a crapshoot. So the first round looks a little dicey for everybody. He's not great at
I will say this for Alex, like, honestly, first round, you got a good shot at Atlanta. He does good on restrictor plates. Like, he can draft well. You got Daniel Suarez in, you got Austin Cindric in. You know what I mean? Like, there's 2 cars right there that, I mean, I know Daniel won Atlanta, but like, you got some guys that are already in the playoffs that, yeah. So it's not hard to imagine, he could find himself into the next round just based on other guys finishing bad.
Yeah.
But it's also not hard to imagine he doesn't make it through.
Yeah, like I'm struggling to be really optimistic, but like I say, over the next few weeks at those tracks that he typically runs well at, if we can get some stage wins, maybe another win, and really help the playoff point situation, which is literally sitting at the 5 for the win.
Is that all he's got for playoff points?
Yeah, like he's only got the 1 for the win. He has not won a stage yet this year. Matter of fact, prior to Sunday, I believe he'd only led like 6 laps on the season. Like, he's been very consistently in that 5th to 10th positioning. Hasn't been nearly as good in that 1st to 5th. So that's what they need to work on, is taking that next step. And I think having the confidence that this win probably gave him, because say what you want, he outdrove Joey Hand like no man's business. And Joey Hand is a very, very well-known road racer. So like, it wasn't that he was just completely lucky. He did also have to drive a very good race. And he did do that. So, get that confidence back is huge for him. So it'll be really fun as a fan of Alex Bowman to see how he can work with that. But that's
what I'm most interested too, is the confidence. Cause like he said, you start to doubt yourself, like a brain injury, a broken back. Am I ever going to win again? I mean, you have countless people saying he doesn't deserve his ride at Hendrick. Like, that's stuff you all hear. And so like, yeah, we'll see if this, but it could be one of those things too. Like, I don't think anyone that hates on Bowman is going to give him credit for it. You know, it's the same thing with Bubba. Like, it's a rain shortened.
Yeah.
I mean, at least, I know NASCAR changed rules and stuff to help him and didn't do that with Bubba. He won his legit on a rain delay, but
naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that. Let's
Why we're going to talk about them in a second.
Let's talk about the both of them. How about? So, final topic, a little bit of backstory here. At the beginning of stage 2, Alex Bowman gets into Bubba Wallace and entry to turn 2, resulting in Bubba getting spun around and losing track position. During the rain delay, NBC interviewed Alex about what happened, and he said he missed his braking spot, locked the tires up, and got into Bubba. He then apologized to the number 23 team before the interview ended. Following the race end during the cool-down lap, Bubba Wallace came up to the 48 car, was celebrating his win before turning hard left into the 48 and forcing him into the wall hard enough that at least one of the tires came off the ground in the camera angle. Considering the entire situation, what is your response to this situation, and what do you think the response of NASCAR should be, if any? And here we go.
Do you want to go first?
Who wants to start? Go ahead, Donnie.
I'm all for it. Good on Bubba. Like, honestly, when you go into a race, you're battling for that last playoff spot, and the guy you're battling with gets into you, ruins your day. I mean, you got to take that personal. And I'm not going to sit here and say Bowman did it on purpose or, it was malicious. But at the same time, if I'm driving that 23, I'm wondering, what happened? Like, why? There's no reason for it. Like, Bowman made a stupid mistake, ran out of talent, got into Bubba, and ruined his day. Like, yeah, he should have been ticked off. He had every right to be ticked off. And then you go and you see that guy go on and win the race, punch his ticket, and then now you're battling the next guy who's points ahead of, like, your hole's just deeper. And the guy that ruined your day won. Like, yeah, go hit him. Get up beside him, rough him up a little bit. He didn't hook him. He didn't.
But I thought violence was never the answer.
On a racetrack, it's different. You don't punch someone in a driver's meeting. But on the
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I'm all for fighting on the racetrack. I'm all for roughing guys up, like what Stenhouse and Busch did. Like, you expect it there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you expect, if you play hockey, like, you can get in a fight on the ice. You're not going to expect some guy to punch you in the mouth during team meeting. Like, that was my argument for that. Like, so no, like 100% Bubba was right in what he did. And like we say it week after week, like, these guys are going unchecked. Denny goes unchecked. Like, you know what I mean? These guys got to start policing themselves. That's what Bubba did. Good on him.
All right, Evan.
Okay. So before we go any further, I want to say I don't think punishment from NASCAR is on the table. Now, having said that, I do think it's probably time that NASCAR make a stern remark about the level of aggressiveness on cool down lap. Guys have their belts undone, window nets down, things like that. It would be extremely tragic if something were to go wrong. And that's just a safety thing. I have no issue with a guy roughing a guy up and that stuff. My big issue in this situation comes from the fact that it wasn't a heat of the moment situation. In the sense that, no, hang on. I'm gonna let you finish. In the sense that I don't know how long that rain delay was, but it was at least an hour, and I believe a little longer. During which time, according to Alex, he called and texted Bubba to have a conversation. Also, during which time Bubba could have walked down pit road and had more than a conversation if he really wanted to, right? Like it definitely could have been addressed prior to the race end. Not to mention, we then completed all of the rest of stage 2 and got into stage 3. So that's where I don't really understand why it got to that point. Because when it gets to that point, now Bubba's team has a damaged car that they didn't really have as much damage on.
They had a damaged car when Bowman.
They had a damaged car, but not as much. Like, he added damage to that situation. Okay.
Yeah, but
hang on. You do risk NASCAR taking issue with it and finding you points, which you can't afford right now. And furthermore, there's really no advantage in the situation because you don't take the win from Bowman in this situation. All you do is, now as far as everyone's concerned in the world, they're even. So you've taken that card off the table for a different race where you could have taken Bowman out of the situation or out of the race. To me, my concern with Bubba has never been a lack of ability. I think Bubba's a very talented driver. I think Bubba's biggest issue as a race car driver is he has no emotional management at all. And even from a team perspective, like, there's guys like Kyle Busch, when he gets mad, he's going to improve his racing position, right?
Wow. We talking about the same Kyle Busch?
Let's talk prime Kyle Busch.
Toyota Kyle Busch is how it's referred to.
Yeah. Well, even the last 2 years of Toyota, he was not prime Kyle Busch. So, but when he got mad back in the day, you better look out. He was coming to the front it didn't matter if the car was down a cylinder. You know what I mean? He was better. I think Denny Hamlin's one of those guys. He gets mad, he gets better. Larson seems a little too level-headed to really get mad a lot, but he can always get to the front. I don't think Bubba sees that improvement when he's mad. I think he actually loses focus in the
He
situation.
didn't have a car to improve.
I would disagree with you simply because of this. I didn't realize this, but they said this on DBC this week that he was in the very back of the field. When they all pitted for slicks right before the end of stage 2, and realized they didn't make any ground in those 2 laps. Booty called him back in, put him back on the wets, and he drove back up to 13th, which I don't think he was still really overly steamed at that moment. But anyway, that's my concern.
I drove up to 4th and wouldn't get close to Bowman.
But on wets?
Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought Truex was on slicks. I
thought
could be
it
wrong.
was too.
no, man.
I don't know.
But like what I'm saying is like just because you can drive up doesn't mean you have a car to win anymore.
No, I agree, but I don't think Bowman had a car to win all day. Right? It was just the circumstances
Not until
that
NASCAR stepped in.
Oh my goodness! Like NASCAR didn't do anything different. It was
Except put us on a time clock instead of
all right,
laps.
Bowman, you have 10 minutes left. All right.
Right?
No. Everyone knew that, and it was before everyone played by the same rules. It wasn't like, oh, now that we're mid-cycle or something, we're gonna let
Do
people
we know this for sure? Like maybe Bowman was the only one at a clock. Like we don't know.
Had one on the dashboard.
Yeah.
All right, throw the
Rolex.
white right now.
So anyway, that's my concern with the situation. I think Bubba has
Back to your heat of the moment thing though. Like, no, like whether, like I get what you're saying, like he had all caution to think about that, all red flag to get over it. But when you see that guy then go and win, that just brings it right back up. That rips the
Sure,
I can
band-aid
give you
off.
that. Yeah.
That's heat of the moment again. Like, come on, like seriously.
and
Like,
I'll give you that.
the guy wrecks, and this is Bubba at a road course. You know what I mean?
So
I
does that
know.
make him a
Qualified,
sore
what,
loser?
6?
Or?
No, but like ticked off. Like he had
And-
every right to be angry.
And that
And like
is
then
fair.
you see that guy. Like this is flip Bubba's season around. You know what I mean? Bubba and Bowman were within fighting distance on points. Now Bowman moves up, and Bubba's got to go after the guy that was ahead. So his hole just got deeper. He got his car messed up, and then he sees that guy go. And they have history before. Like these
Absolutely.
guys aren't good friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say Bowman did it on purpose, but like when 2 guys got a history, and like, yeah,
But that's what I'm saying, because you said,
and I'm glad that he did it now. Like honestly, I don't want to see him go and Bowman leading in Richmond and Bubba just go and wreck him to wreck him. Like deal with the stuff now. Let him know, like, hey, I'm not pleased with you. I think you're an idiot.
So do you
And
think I should
there
save
you
my
go.
Bowman pick for Richmond? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I wouldn't pick him again, but
I never picked him before. Well, I guess I did for the All-Star.
exactly.
Hey, next year I can pick him for the big race. Huh?
The big one.
Big race.
Well, yeah, I can pick him for the actual All-Star race because he won a race this season.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Right? So next year I can
do it.
Next year I can
Me
take
and
Ty
Corey will
Gibbs.
give
if
you
he
that
doesn't-
pick right now.
Yeah, lock it in.
Yeah.
No, that's just like as it happened, I was quite upset. I've calmed down quite a bit.
Did you hear
about it.
Bowman's take on it?
Yeah, he said don't
Yeah.
bother.
Yeah.
But at the same
Wasn't that
point,
hard.
NASCAR's never been big on driver opinion before, so they probably won't start now. They'll set a precedent now.
Well, like I said, I mean, they love Bowman. They changed the rules to get him a win. So, like, I'm
You
guessing
keep
he's got
saying
some
it
sort
doesn't
of
make
sway.
it true.
Corey said it too. They put a clock in his car. He's the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Brand new Rolex.
you
on
heard
his
it.
wrist.
You heard it here first. Like,
Yeah.
They gave him bourbon in his room, probably because they thought he wasn't going to win that weekend. So they were like, "Drown your sorrows, brother. Drown your sorrows."
No.
But I will.
So-
Inside
I actually want to point out at the end of last week's podcast during the pick segment, I did say Bowman's probably a guy that could possibly run well here because it's
you
a
say
flat
that every
road
time we go.
No,
like,
I
every
don't.
week you're like, "Oh, Bowman's got a real shot here."
course.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
I
he could.
don't. No,
Like,
I
the
do
boy
I mean,
not.
tried
I'm definitely not
man.
going to pick him because this points thing matters to me, and I know he won't get me any.
No,
But
I said it for the exact same reason why you guys all thought I was going to take him in Coda, because he runs well at Coda. He runs well at the flatter kind of road courses. So Anyway,
All
I'm
right,
happy.
I want to talk about something real quick. So
Sure.
it's Chris Buescher now ahead of Bubba Wallace, who's going to get because in my opinion, Buescher has fallen off the map. Like he's nowhere
hard.
to be seen lately. So does Bubba get that spot or what? Like it's.
Wait, when did you change to a 2311 hat? You had a Truex hat on.
Free Bubba.
What are you doing? I'm not even
my support.
Honestly, it's like you're
notice
Victory Lane doing the hat dance. Like,
yeah, honestly, I think it just happened. I didn't even notice either.
Anyway, sorry.
But you think Bubba's still the favorite? Like who's driving better right now? To me, it's probably Bubba. But
honestly, I'm going Bubba just because I think he's talented. Equipment, I like Toyota more than Ford still. I think Ford has they've improved from the start of the year, but they've also found a lot of luck along the way. You're not going to be lucky every week. So I think that's going to come down close. And that's like a coin flip.
I don't think he should be too disappointed though that Alex Bowman won, because I don't think I don't know.
But that is just another spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is, but I think Alex was gonna probably beat him.
I mean, I guess we'll never know, but
yeah, there's no way to know that. But I think if you look at the tracks coming up, it looks really good for Alex.
Yeah.
Right. I think if it stays a points battle, Alex probably gets it.
It's just you think Bubba takes over Buescher, Evan? Or?
I hope.
I would have to look at the trend right now.
Do you know what
how bad?
Do you know what the point difference is?
It's 45 points.
Is it
45 points? Yeah. So I mean,
that's
6
pretty,
races, yeah.
But that's a whole race of points, right? That's a.
I feel like Bubba's done well on stages this year too.
He has, and he's got. I feel like he runs well at Michigan. I think he's got that coming up. Daytona, he runs well.
So he's still got. It's not like he's written out of the playoff picture.
No,
as long as he doesn't talk to Reddick about how to close a race out, he should probably do good.
Fair enough.
One rain short and wind, and look at him, just man.
Yeah, but he closed the race out. Closed it out good. And actually, I think Buescher's really not been as great. But then again,
also,
I feel like Keselowski hasn't been as good either. Am I crazy to think that?
No.
Sorry.
Has Kes been slowing down too? Am I is it an RFK problem right now?
Kes kind of got hot when he got hot, got his win, got in, and hasn't set the world on fire.
Right, but that's right when Buescher also got hot, right?
Yeah.
And I think back when that whole situation happened with him and Reddick at Darlington, I was kind of like, man, Buescher's gonna get a win. It's fine. Probably didn't need to be that upset. But now I'm like, you know what? I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Man, am I talking myself into a Bubba forgiveness moment right now too? I don't know. But it's that important.
It matters. Every spot matters, and that's why I agree with Bubba. Hey, you had the right to be mad. Do what you did. And another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, and I don't know for sure because I don't have the replay in front of me. It looked like Bowman threw a turtle shell and a banana peel at Reddick.
Oh yeah, right.
That's what I saw. I saw a turtle shell hit his wheel, put him into a banana, and then he hit the wall. So I mean,
I guess Reddick didn't have a blue shell then.
Yeah,
should have thrown that one.
So here's the real question: do we think Martin Truex makes the playoffs, or will we have
All right, let's go to the caution break. Evan, did we get anything this week?
We do.
You want to compare Truex?
No, we're good.
No, man, I'm just making a joke. Chill. Gosh, get so upset, so panicky.
Throw you into a wall.
Oh man.
I mean, it's no wonder why you're so defensive of Bowman after the immatureness that Truex showed at Richmond. Anyway,
what did Truex do at Richmond?
You don't remember he came up through the field, ran over Larson, ran into Denny.
Oh yeah,
when Denny comes to restart.
He went full angry.
In my defense, or in his defense, in our defense,
we are one.
We are one.
As I was saying, in our defense.
Oh man.
Truex pretty much had that race won. and
Donnie
Kyle
wears many hats.
caution. As long as the Toyota.
That's not true. You wore a different hat last night before we were cut short.
All right,
So,
Evan. Take
I
us.
mean, Truex
take us
had
away.
that one, and friggin'
Yeah,
Kyle
we're not
Busch ruined the day.
ancient history.
All right. Let us talk. I'm just gonna do a short NASCAR trivia. I feel as though I have
Drop the ball. Yes, you have on this.
I've been
segment.
Phoned
I've
it in,
been,
absolutely.
I have been unintentionally
Not taking things as seriously as me and Corey. Yes, we would agree.
Okay. I've been unintentionally a little lax with the before the greens, and I guess this week I'm still a little lax, but I've got something. Okay.
Too busy on that exercise bike.
Well, it needs dusted once in a while. No, it's I've been struggling to come up with new things every week, but once we're in the new studio, I'm sure I'll be completely recalibrated, ready to go.
Yeah.
We're just going to play a quick game of general NASCAR trivia. This is not a competition between the two of you. I'm actually going to ask Corey these questions first. If he doesn't know the answers, then I give Donnie a chance to clean it up. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. Corey, what 3 NASCAR drivers have combined for 21 championships, each winning 7?
Jimmy Johnson. Dale Earnhardt.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Oh,
Rest in peace.
what's his name? There?
Rip
No,
Wheeler.
what's his face? The 200 win guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually what his name is on his birth certificate now.
Petty.
Dick
Don't be
Petty.
petty.
Dick Petty.
Richard Petty.
Yes. There we go. Right. What am I thinking?
Am I right?
You are right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Look
all
at me
right.
go.
If you combine all of the NASCAR series together, who is the winningest driver in NASCAR history? And I'm talking strictly, I say all NASCAR series, I mean the top 3, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
It's a good question. Well, Petty's got 200 in Cup alone, doesn't he? But I don't know if he ever drove anything else. I'm going with Kyle Busch just because he's driven a lot of truck. I don't know.
Well done. Yeah. He's got
done.
231 wins.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask, it's arguably more impressive.
Well, yep.
Crazy fact, too. He's probably going to retire with 231 wins.
He might get another truck win.
If
Oh,
Steve
there we go.
listens to
That's
this,
true.
he's going to be mad at you. All right.
Gonna put me in the wall.
Yeah, probably. On the cool down, though. All right. Corey, name a NASCAR team owner who is a billionaire.
A billionaire.
All
Oh, Michael Jordan.
All right. Donnie, you got another one?
Rick Hendrick.
Is Rick a billionaire?
Is he a billionaire?
I'm pretty sure.
He's definitely close if he's doing it. Okay, you got another one? We've talked about one quite a bit this year.
Is Haas? Gene Haas?
Is, yeah.
Is Haas a
Yeah.
billionaire? I've
Yeah.
read somewhere the other day he didn't have as much money as I thought, but maybe
Well,
probably.
I've always known him to be a billionaire when I've seen his accounts. There's one more that I know of for sure.
According to 3 sources, Rick Hendrick is worth $1 billion. So he's right on the
I
cup.
mean, one of those sources is me, but
Yeah.
Let's hope he didn't spend $1 between now and when this goes live.
right.
Yeah.
So there's one more you're saying?
There's one more that I know of for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I don't think Gibbs is.
what's his name there?
You don't think who is, Donnie?
Gibbs.
The parts guy, not the parts guy, but
Enlow?
That's an old reference right there.
I can't think of his name. I know what it is.
All right, I'll tell you whose it is. Roger Penske.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Roger Penske is also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the guy owns Indy.
I knew it
Yeah.
started with a P.
I don't. Roger Parts. No relation to Rosa Parks, even though I don't know, man. Well, I said Parks. It sounded like Parks. I don't think Childress is, and I didn't check into others. So there may be more, but there's at least 4. All right, Corey, let's try this one. You probably know this one, actually. Who was the first NASCAR athlete to be a Jordan-sponsored athlete?
A Jordan-sponsored athlete?
Yeah, like a Jordan brand.
Bubba? I don't know.
No, it was actually Denny. That's how him and Jordan became
You're
friends.
not going to let me answer my question?
Oh, shoot. Sorry, brother.
Oh, yes.
You did
are
this to me
correct.
last
Yes,
time, too, so.
Right.
I know. I always do.
Is that how they got to be? Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that's how they, or shortly after they started talking or whatever it happened. But yeah. All right. And the final one, I've somehow made these first 4 questions last longer than I thought they would. So that's good. The final question, which driver earned Hendrick Motorsports' first win?
Oh, I know this. I can't think of it. I don't know. Mark Martin. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
for that.
I forget. I know that it was Martinsville, wasn't it?
It was Martinsville, 1984.
Yeah.
I'll give you this hint as well. I just finished reading his book.
Oh, that's a great hint.
Oh, Frank.
Well, he's got a book. That's a hint.
Yeah, he just released it like around Daytona.
Yep.
Oh man, drawing a complete blank. I'm
I
not Googling it because yeah. No, I can't think of his name right now.
Jeff Bodine.
Allison
Jeff
Bodine,
Bodine,
Yeah. And I will say, actually, his book. So I've read his book now. One of you guys can read it once I get it back from my coworker. But super good book. A lot of stuff I didn't know about Jeff Bodine. I didn't realize he was actually nearly as competitive as, like, sometimes those guys that don't rack up a lot of wins, you don't realize how good they actually ran. But like, if you look at his statistics, he actually ran consistently quite well. And he was actually the guy who bought out, or sorry, I shouldn't say bought out, but bought Alan Kulwicki's team after he passed away. And back in 92 or 93, I guess he bought it. And until the day he left Alan Kulwicki's office exactly as he found it.
Nice.
Never
what
touched
coworkers got the book?
Merle.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
Steve.
No, not
There's
Steve.
not a lot of
We
a
didn't-
lot of pictures in the book.
No,
eh?
yeah,
We'll probably
Steve-
get it back soon.
Oh man, that's a pretty ruthless take. We don't have that many.
I'm just
listeners that we
kidding,
can
Merle
afford
Jam.
to- He doesn't have. We don't have that many listeners that we can afford to like just mock them. Then again, if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you deserve a little bit of mocking. All right. Well, that's my caution break segment for the week.
All
And,
right, guys, and that's it for the week.
No,
Well,
it's
have a
not.
good night. And,
No, we've got to let you face the music. Corey thought
All
it was
right.
like
I'm
golf
just
this
drowning
week.
my sorrows.
The hard stuff.
Yeah.
So, before we get to the picks, we're headed to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Denny Hamlin is who won first here last year. He also won first at this race in 2019 and 2020. And 6 of the last 7 races here, or 6 of the last 7 of this race, because there used to be the earlier race in the year we no longer have been won by Denny or Kyle Busch, with Chase Elliott the only other one getting a win during that time. So
In the last 7?
yeah, of this race, not the
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Sorry. So you're not including the doubles?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. My bad.
Yep.
Wait,
Nope,
didn't-
you're good.
Didn't Bowman win that?
All right.
Bowman ran one of the doubles. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, but okay.
one of the ones that don't count.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry.
It's all right, bud. I know you want to defend your man.
He's not my man.
Well, I don't want to take away one of his
My
8
guy.
wins.
And he
He's
only
my
won
guy.
because Larson blew a tire in the last lap, too. I mean,
Got to
like,
be running good
another-
to finish there. man.
another race given to him.
Listen, we back
Yeah.
into them all the time. It's fine.
All right. Sorry, Donnie. Go ahead.
All the time, you backed into them 8 times.
Yeah.
8 wins.
4 in one season, then he broke his back.
8 wins. Do you know what we call that? 2017.
We call that a good career.
2017.
Oh yeah.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus we got a
Larson done what?
championship.
Larson won 10 in the season once, 2021.
Yeah.
More than Alex
Anyways.
Bowman's whole career.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Can't all just
All
jump on the bandwagons.
Oh man.
So Tricky Triangle, Denny Hamlin, Bowman's garbage. All right, let's get into picks.
Like so much shade.
Oh man.
And wait, what are you
What?
talking about?
You thought this was all gonna go away just because Bowman got one win? I
No.
don't think so.
No, but say what you want. We can talk about 8 years ago if you want to. But who's the one that's locked into the playoffs right now? Don't get me wrong. I realize Truex is all but a lock. But like he ain't got no win.
Don't need one if you can point your way
He
in.
ain't got no win. We don't put an
Yeah, we'll
asterisk.
see.
We don't put an asterisk on Cindric and say if Blaney didn't run out of fuel, he wouldn't have one.
I think all of us have put that there.
No, I'm just blown away. He's got one, but it's still a legitimate, still a legitimate win.
I mean, more so than Bowman's for sure. I'll give you that.
Oh my goodness!
NASCAR didn't have to change rules or anything.
All right,
Oh,
Donnie, which
man.
one of your back markers are you picking this week? Because you ain't got no good drivers left.
Oh,
Yeah, I just won last week without a good one. So.
that is true.
I know.
So yeah, speaking of points, Corey, thank
Ah.
you for keeping the seat warm, buddy. But Daddy's back in town. Step aside.
Daddy.
Oh, that feels gross.
Oh
Love
man.
it. Oh, anything to make you boys uncomfortable.
Well, that did it. Like,
Settle down, Denise.
Mission successful.
who's Denise? I'm the nephew.
Okay, Daddy. Denise,
Nice.
no, you're not. I'll tell you off camera.
Oh,
Anyway,
Last week's picks.
yeah, Corey, you had first pick last week. You picked SVG, and all went wrong. Finally,
Dead
your good
last.
luck. Right?
Dead
Welcome to the
last.
club, buddy. What did that do for your average? You got the numbers with you this week?
I
or
don't
shit?
fight, but I assume
All right.
I imagine I'm still leading, but
Corey went back to his golf knowledge and thought he was supposed to go for the highest, like lowest finishing position was the best.
oh, I thought you were going with never mind.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Evan, who did you have? Chase Elliott,
I didn't see Sally.
who was doing good until he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
No, a whole lot better, really. I didn't know he was that far
Right.
down.
yeah.
Well, I
once they
think
did it
didn't
for,
Suarez spin him? Isn't
Oh,
that what the
yes.
rumor was?
Yes.
like, man, what is up with that? Like, Truex, like, Suarez is a menace right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's brutal.
He becomes an American and he
wish-
thinks he can just do whatever he wants.
To be fair, that's their citizenship right, though. I think my facts are right on that. I think that's the way that went. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
Well,
And then, yeah,
yeah.
I picked McDowell. It was a good pick. I didn't think it was going to be because, like,
No.
their strategy got thrown off and, like,
Yeah.
man, that was bad. But
He was a lap down.
found
was
a
he
way to
not?
salvage. Yeah, like it was a mess. And then, like, for his strategy to work, he needed to stay green, and NASCAR did all those laps under caution in the stage. Like, it just, I still know how he did it,
Yeah. It's just,
but
I'll be honest. When we went to the red flag and SVG was out and your guy was a lap down, I said to Corey, I'm like, well, probably getting a point this week. And like, obviously I didn't, but I would like, knowing what I know now, I would still go back to that point in time and say, looks like I'm getting a point this week.
yeah.
I mean, how do you assume you're not? Still,
I mean, I still wasn't assuming that SVG wouldn't somehow come back out and
right.
beat McDowell. But
someone
yeah,
gets sick and he
these-
fills in for them.
Good win.
right?
Good win.
Yeah. These are the big ones. These are the ones you got to win championships. And speaking as the only guy to ever win a championship on this show, I would know.
Well, to be fair,
All
there's only
right.
two of us that have had a full-time season.
Hey, stats are stats, baby.
Don't-
Stats
Well,
are
like
stats.
Corey's not 0 for 1. He's just 0,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Evan's the only one that's lost
Yeah,
a championship.
I'm the only
here.
0 for 1.
Corey's a rookie. I'm a champion. Evan's the loser.
That's right.
That's pretty much my life story, guys.
Hmm.
We should do an
That's the name of a book.
autobiographical.
Yeah, I love
book.
autobiographals. My name's Evan Locke, and this is my autobiographical.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you came in a good mood tonight because this is fun for somebody else, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's start a whole new week of picks. I keep going back and forth, so I'm literally going to do a coin toss. Heads, I'm taking Daniel Suarez. Tails, I'm taking Todd Gilliland.
Right on.
Surrey, flip a coin.
We got to be able to see this now.
And it went away. It's heads.
It's heads. So that's
it's
heads.
Okay.
Look at that.
So who'd you say that was?
Daniel Suarez. After just bashing him and saying what a menace he is, let's hope he's a menace to win.
Daniel Suarez.
Yeah.
All right.
Not excited
Not a
about
bad
it.
pick.
It was
Not
either,
bad.
yeah, I mean, it was him or Todd. I feel like Todd's got the momentum. I'm
Mm.
pretty impressed with actually how they've been running.
Yeah.
So,
Which
one of
is
you guys are
saying
looking.
something because like he didn't run that great when he was up here the first time. Like,
What?
well, like, sorry, I shouldn't say the first time, but like last year, 2022, he ran full time. 2023, he ran part time, splitting that seat with Zane Smith. Remember that?
Mhm.
And now he's back to full time. Like that's a good story for that guy, right? Like
It'll make a great autobiographical.
autobiographical. That's what I.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
All right, Evan. Who are you taking next week?
As much as I hesitate to go for a guy that's got back-to-back wins, I've had this race checked as Alex Bowman's race for me all season long. So I am going to put Bowman here. He's won here in the past. Runs pretty
Alex
good here.
Bowman.
So
Back
that's what
to
I'm
back.
taking. Well, I'm hoping for back-to-back. I didn't, have him last week.
No, Donnie and
Really?
I haven't had him here either.
I really regret not having him last week. I could have used that point.
2 points.
True.
Well, yeah, 2 points. You're right. That's
All right. I guess it's me. I am going with Tyler Reddick.
I love how Corey always just sounds like he's making it up on the fly. Like,
Well, I was honestly, I was either going to take Tyler Reddick, Danny Hamlin, or Ty Gibbs. So
I hope Tyler
Sorry,
Reddick.
what were you saying? Reddick, Hamlin, or Gibbs?
yeah, that was my
Okay.
choices here.
I'm really hoping Reddick's leading with like 2 to go and Bowman's behind him because then it's a guaranteed 2 points.
Okay.
No, because Reddick will be out front and he can finish races that way.
The reason I want Reddick is because he has had like he's been miserable the last 2 races. Like he said, a shot both of them and choked it basically. So I feel like he's going to come out firing. Hopefully.
So he pulled an M&M. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready. And then he bombs.
Good one.
It's not my worst of the night, to be fair.
Oh, man.
Why did I ever decide that I should start a podcast with you two, Lynn?
I don't
Actually,
know,
even
but we
worse-
curse you every day.
Even
no other
worse.
friends.
But I started it with Donnie and then somehow figured that wasn't enough torture. I should add in another guy. Those are some interesting picks.
All right. Yeah, I'm good with them.
I am too.
I'm
Like
happy
I
with
said, I
mine.
hope the same Suarez keeps showing up and spins you boys out. And then I finish somewhere in 15th.
I don't know,
I'll be
like-
all right with that.
I was worried about Bowman, but he's going to be celebrating hard this week. I don't know. It's tough.
I'm
It's
telling you, man.
possible, but
I'm telling you, man. A guy with confidence, it's a dangerous situation. Same with like you got to realize too.
How much
Like,
confidence do
I'm
you have
confident.
winning a race NASCAR wrapped and gifted to you, though?
not only that, I will say too. Blake Harris. I noticed. So someone shared on Twitter. I didn't realize his wife is Caitlin Vincey, a NASCAR reporter. And so she got to interview her husband, the crew chief who won for the first time ever. And so I'm sure that
Yeah,
was a cool experience for them too.
The inside job just keeps getting more inside.
Oh, come on.
Like, man, this goes a lot deeper than we
This
ever
goes
thought,
deep, eh?
Corey.
Yeah.
Man, so now they own the
Not-
media too. That's what you're
not as
telling
deep
us?
as that. Not as deep as that elephant could go.
Man.
Oh. I didn't know what you were talking about the elephant, but you're talking about what Donnie sent us earlier today. Yeah.
That was funny.
Oh,
My phone was hacked.
yeah, I bet.
Ah,
We need to.
I thought we were still editing all this out.
No,
No, no.
My bad.
no.
that's all right.
We only
We'll
edited
keep
out
it.
that one little section.
If you guys are interested in what I'm talking about, message me. Johnson87. I'll send you the reel.
You can find Donnie's contact information in the description down below.
Anyways,
Is that the exit right there? If you're interested in talking to me, message me. Donnie wants people to slide in his DMs. That's the point of the whole podcast.
Email him at
Head
donnie
first
at
slide into
forthegreen.com.
Hey Don, well, what do you
actually
want?
don't. I don't like meeting new people.
You don't have to meet up with them. It's not Tinder.
I don't even like hanging out with my friends here. Please don't message me.
All right, guys.
All
well,
right,
wanna
so
call it a night?
let's wrap this up.
'Kay.
All right, listeners. I mean, what a week we had. Tune in next week. Come back and see us. Who knows what NASCAR is going to try and pull this week? I mean, if they're willing to change the sport, change the rules, start a course we can't even run at night in the middle of the evening just to get the 48 to win. I mean, there's no telling what they're going to do for Hendrick next week. It's going to be fun. Follow us on our social medias. Evan, you got anything to add? No? Perfect. We're
Yeah,
out.
we're gonna
Peace.
call it a day.